this is just a quick video to help bodybuilders achieve the abdominal vacuum pose. Okay, so I know I don't look like a bodybuilder, but I am a belly dance teacher, and so I've been teaching people how to use their abdomen for many years. So the problem with the vacuum is if you try and just tense your muscles, they're not going to go backwards towards your spine. And in fact, in some cases, tensing your muscles can actually make them come out more. Okay, so what we have to do is learn how to segment the parts of the abdomen and then roll them up. And we're rolling up each one individually. And then we're going to have a little bit of help from the bones of or the skeleton of our hips, and a little bit of help from the skeleton of our upper back. Okay, so there's 6 components there. 4 muscular, which are the 4 sections of the abdomen, and then 2 where your actual skeleton's going to help emphasize what you're doing with your muscles. So let's look at the 4 parts of the abdomen, and as you do this, you're going to learn how to use each one individually from the others. And once you can do that, then you can achieve this roll up to give you this nice vacuum shape. Okay, so the first one is the pelvic floor, and that might sound a bit counterintuitive. What's the pelvis got to do with the abdomen? But actually it's a huge set of muscles which swing all the way from the front to your spine and attach into your abdominal, both your transverse abdominis and your rectus abdominis. So if you can't have control of your pelvic floor, you end up with this kind of posture, which obviously puts your abdomen out even further. But by contracting those muscles here, you've immediately got the start of your vacuum. Okay, and then by even helping that with a small tilt of your skeletal, you can see we've already started. We've gone from this, or even worse, this, which people can have this posture when their pelvic floor is loose, and it's first of all it's very bad for your lower back and can lead to injury. But also it's also terrible for your abdomen. So tucking in the pelvis immediately, you can see, has helped. So to isolate these muscles, the best explanation I've ever heard is imagine that you need the loo and there isn't a toilet for 1,000,000 miles. And it's those muscles that you use to stop yourself needing to go to the toilet, or at least to stop yourself going to the toilet, that are your pelvic floor. So you need to put your mind into your body and just find those muscles and just hold them for 5 seconds and release, hold them again and release. And you're going to do that a few times, and I would suggest doing this a few times a day. But as you're doing it, you're going to try and keep this soft. So you don't want this everything tensing. Sorry, mine automatically goes in from years of training. You don't want this. You just want this. Okay? And it's getting this control of each section which will really help you with your vacuum. So as we're doing this, once you've learned to just tighten it, and this, by the way, will help you with all of the organs which are in this area, the sexual organs, the bladder, and the bowel. It helps tighten everything up and keep it in place. So it's very good for a healthy body generally. Once you've isolated that, you can do the second component, which is tuck in, using your skeleton to tuck under. Now you're using your glutes and lengthening your lower back. Okay, you want to be able to do the muscles just on their own first, but then you can really emphasize it, so you get this real tuck, this sharp tuck. Okay, so that's 2 components working together, muscular and skeletal. Okay, the second section of your abdomen that you want to be able to control is the lowest part of your six-pack, of your rectus abdominis. Now, the best way to find these muscles is to imagine that you're putting on a really, really tight pair of jeans and you need to do the zip up. Okay, so you need to pull that zip up. And again, we're trying to keep this soft as we pull that zip up. Yeah, keeping this soft, just so that in your mind you're able to feel that this is a separate muscle to this. Okay, so zip the jeans and release, zip and release, zip and release. Now you can now use your pelvic contraction and your skeletal pelvic tilt in conjunction with this, but you do the pelvic first, then you zip the jeans. Okay, so that you're starting this curve upwards now. So tighten pelvis, tilt to assist, zip up your jeans. Okay, again, this zip and release, zip and release, zip and release is something you need to practice. I'd say do it 5 times, hold for 5 seconds each time, several times a day. Okay. The next section that we want to be able to control is the middle of your six-pack. It's your belly button, and this is you've done up the zip. Now you need to do the button up. Okay, and this is just you need to practice. A good way to do this is just practice in and out, in and out. Now we don't tend to want to go out in society because a big belly is considered not aesthetically pleasing in our culture. But in order to learn how to really control this, pushing out is as important as pulling in, okay? Because you start to get this control over your muscles. So you do up your jeans and then you let them go. Do them up, let them go. Do them up, let them go. Once you've done those contractions, you can now do pelvic floor, tilt, zip, button. So pelvic, tilt, zip, button. So we're starting this roll up, okay? The last section, the upper abdominals, is probably the most important one in your vacuum. Now I'm just tensing those without tensing any others at the moment, but you can see this lovely hollow concave to your body just by tensing these muscles. Now these are quite hard to learn how to find. I call this move the punch because it's like someone's punched you in the gut, and I am making sure this stays soft when I'm practicing this. Now these muscles are actually attached to the diaphragm, which is what allows you to breathe. And so one way to find them is to do a and if you watch me, it's automatically using these muscles because I'm using the diaphragm and the diaphragm is attached. Okay. Another way to find it is to say cheese, 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 or any church, cheese. We like to do cheese in dance because it means you're also smiling, so cheese, right? But okay. It's a hard one to find, but it's really, really worth it, okay? So we're just gonna and then hold for 5 seconds and let go. Or whichever one you find easiest, hold and let go. Trying to keep all this soft, okay? Once you can find these muscles, you can stack it on what you've already done. So you tense in the pelvis, is going dark. You're tensing pelvic floor, tilt, zip, button, ch. Okay? And then the last thing, which we'll really emphasise, is another skeletal one. Now, in order to lift your chest and your rib cage, you're using your rhomboids and you're pulling your shoulder blades together. We want to do the opposite to really emphasise this. So we are stretching out the rhomboids and we're pulling the shoulder blades apart like this, okay? You can see even without tensing my abdomen, just pulling those shoulder blades apart is already starting to bring my upper abs in, okay? Now, what you don't want is this, okay? So it's a part rather than a hunch, okay? So if you just part and let go, apart and let go, do that for part and hold, and you should be feeling the stretch between your shoulder blades, and you should be, if you can find your rhomboids, which a lot of bodybuilders can, you know, the one that you're using for your chest, back pull, try and feel those stretching as well, stretching apart, and your lats of course, stretching apart, stretch, okay? And just this skeletal move will really help you with your upper abs. And then you're going to put them all together. So, oh, and soft knees is very important. You can't see my legs, but you can see if I make my knees like locked, immediately my pelvis goes backwards, and what we actually need is our pelvis to tuck under. So if you start with locked knees, you're going to set yourself up for failure. So, I mean, you can try it yourself, lock your knees and you can feel that your pelvis tilt back, soften them, and it goes down, lock, soften. So you soften your knees, tighten your pelvis so you can't find a loo for a million miles. Use your glutes to tip your skeleton forward, zip up your jeans, do the button up, cheese, and spread. And you'll give yourself this abdominal vacuum. Okay, I hope that helps.